Hello GT-R, hello 350Z. In today's video I actually have a mini contest for you. So Mike is still rocking the stock exhaust system on the Z, which is actually a cut and broken stock exhaust, which obviously isn't the best. So with that said, if this video can get 100 comments telling Mike to hurry up and get a new exhaust system, I will make sure that Mike does that. So here is a cold start. It actually doesn't sound that bad for being stock and broken, but yeah, it definitely needs a full exhaust. We're gonna probably do straight pipe everything, just completely from the headers and back, and that way this thing will be able to shoot flames with a tune. But that's it for the startup on the car. Now it's time to work on the GT-R because there are some things with it that have been annoying me for quite some time now that I've really never got around to fixing, which are the 3 most annoying rattles ever. Now for me personally, when a car is making rattle noises wherever it is in the car, it just drives me absolutely crazy. So the 3 things we need to fix, number 1 is the exhaust. Now if you remember when I first did the down pipes, I found part of the upper mid pipe was hitting on one of the frame rails or like an aluminum brace. I was able to grind that down a little bit and now there's perfect clearance. But in the back of the car, the secondary mid pipe, I guess we'll call it, is hitting another brace and it is so loud and annoying. I can feel it in my seat. It just sounds and feels really bad. The next rattle is on the interior. Actually, both of the other 2 are on the interior. There's a plastic trim piece part of the dash that squeaks since day 1 and it just drives me crazy. And then my fire extinguisher, which I installed, that the way I have it mounted, it rattles too whenever I hit bumps. So we're gonna get the car up in the air real quick, work on the exhaust, and then head to the inside. So you're now joining me underneath the car. So to look at the exhaust and where we're actually hitting, the old spot where it was rattling was up against that aluminum brace in the top. So that's the actual mid pipe of the car. This pipe right here, I guess we can call it the secondary mid pipe because that goes all the way back to where the muffler is, which is right there. But if you look carefully, there is a bracket right up here. So you hear that rattling noise. It's basically hitting this pipe against, I think it's actually right up here. But that's the rattle that I'm hearing, and I can feel it within the seat in my car just because it's metal on metal and it's really annoying. So it only wiggles up and down like, I don't know, a few millimeters, but that's enough to make it rattle. Wow, there is a worn spot on this aluminum cross brace from this exhaust. That's crazy. That's basically what I'm hearing. So, all right, 2 more bolts. Now these ones have not been removed since I installed the exhaust, and they were torqued down pretty good. All right, that's why it helps to have 2 hands sometimes. I totally hit my head on that. Anyway, that is off now with minor injuries. Let's take a look now. So there's the cross member brace, and that is where it's been smacking. So object number 1 has now been removed from the car. We have the secondary mid pipe off the car, and obviously the marks. We know exactly where we need to fix this. So here's what I went ahead and bought from the auto parts store. This is just a high temperature gasket maker. They had 3 different ones. This one goes up to 700 degrees and has a picture of headers. The other ones had pictures of mufflers and oil pan gaskets and stuff like that. But I figured if this can handle on the header and right where the hottest part of the engine is, I figured this ought to do the trick. This is gonna dry like a hard rubber. So my plan is on this portion of the pipe to kind of do some strips where the pipe is touching the frame rail and then cover the piece on the actual car so we have a rubber barrier on the actual pipe and on the actual car. I was thinking to find some type of rubber chunk to put there, but that could fall out. This is basically glue that will adhere nicely to the pipe and to the piece on the car and hopefully should create a really good barrier. So as you can see, I built up a pretty good layer of this gasket material on the exhaust pipe as well as that aluminum cross brace. Basically, when this dries, it's going to be a nice thick rubber coating to where that's going to be a good barrier between the 2 pieces of metal. So in the meantime, while we have half of the exhaust sitting here, let's get a cold start of the car, practically a turbo dump at this point, and see what this thing sounds like. can hear the turbo quite a lot, but it's crazy how that actually sounds really good, and even when the valves are open, it doesn't sound that far off. So this Armytrix exhaust, it truly is straight pipe when the valves are open. Anyway, I'm gonna let that dry, go get some lunch, and then come back and finish that up, put it all back together, and then we'll work on the inside.
2 hours later.
So all the bolts are now tight on the exhaust. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it like we did earlier and see if it makes any noise. All right, that is a good sign. So the rubber coating on the pipe and that cross brace are definitely doing their job, creating a good barrier. But I will update you guys in the description below if it does rattle or anything, same with the inside pieces. But that wraps up for the exhaust. That is such an annoying rattle. It's hard to convey it in person. I would go film like before clips, but half the time it doesn't do it, half the time it does. So anyway, take my word for it. Alright, on to the inside now. The first thing we need to work on is this interior trim piece, which is located right here. When I'm driving, this thing squeaks so bad. It's so annoying. It's just plastic, kind of popped into place with not really any type of barrier. And again, I'm probably not going to be able to recreate what this sound is. It's just that normal plastic on plastic squeak. I don't know if I can wiggle it to make that noise. But anyway, this just pops off really easily. You just get a good firm grip. And it's just this trim piece right here. So it does have like little pieces of foam on it or whatever to make it not squeak, but again, it's all plastic on plastic. And then it does have a little bit of a foam strip on this upper edge here. But either way, I'm gonna take that same caulking that I just put on the exhaust and put it on all these pieces, because I think, at least with the rubber coating in all the little slots down in here and then down in here, I think that'll make it to where this piece doesn't rattle at all. Only drawback, this is now gonna be glued in place, so if I ever need to take anything out, I'm really gonna have to yank this thing off. And then just very carefully, I don't want to touch any of the rubber stuff on anything with the car. Got a little piece. Alright, 2 pieces I'm gonna have to wipe off, but that's in there. Alright, a little quick wipe down with the microfiber. All the orange is gone. Might be a little bit of a smudge there. I'll just get some soap and fix that. But anyway, that is all cleaned up. The last thing is the fire extinguisher. Now the drawback with this, the way I have it mounted, it can wiggle like that. So whenever I hit a bump on the inside of the car, that's basically what I hear. So I'm gonna figure out a better mounting location for this. So here's a better look at the fire extinguisher, and for everybody who is so triggered by the location of it, even though it resembles the mounting location of a lot of high-end cars, we're gonna get this thing squared away with a different location. There's a bolt under there. I just have this thing bolted to one of the pieces underneath the seat, so it's one bolt, and we'll just get this thing off. So now just a better look at everything. This is the bracket that actually came with the fire extinguisher. There's 2 holes in it that I just used some bolts to make a nice mounting piece. And then here's a bracket that I had made. And if you guys remember, when I had the Nismo 370Z, I had just used this piece, and there was a piece behind the passenger seat that was actually removable on the car, just a flat piece of aluminum cardboard. And I was able to bolt this right to it, and it was a perfectly secure mounting location. So the goal is to mount this somewhere on the inside. Of course, easy access in case I ever actually have to use this. Oops. So after taking a quick look, I think I have found the new spot for it. I'm actually going to mount it on this panel right over here. It is removable, which is really nice, and I can easily mount that bracket and have this bolted right about here. Now before, with it mounted right in front of the seat, there was no issues at all with passenger legroom or footroom. It was completely out of the way. Your legs go up and over it. But now mounting it over here, there might be a little bit of an issue. You know, your passenger could definitely hit it with their foot a little bit, given it's going to be right there. But in all honesty, there's so much footroom in this car, I don't think it'll really make a big deal. So first up, I'm just going to pull this trim piece back a little bit. So this thing just pops right off. And then back in here, there's a little bolt. You can actually just twist it with your hand, and that thing comes right off. Next up, we're just going to give this a firm pull. Just popping it off the bracket and just pulling it off. There's these types of tabs. There's one more up here, and we can get it off. And with that panel now off, basically this is just going to get bolted right to the side of it, right about there, and it should be a really good secure spot for this. So like 2 minutes later, I went ahead and punched some holes into this piece of plastic. Super easy to do. It's really soft plastic. I actually don't even have a drill or a drill bit. I just used a pair of scissors and just wiggled it and got a hole in like a minute or so. So that was really easy to do. So now that we have our holes done, there's all the hardware. We can go ahead and mount this up. So it goes like that in the car. And then I want the nozzle of the fire extinguisher over on this side. So we're gonna bolt this bracket just like that. So there we go, that is the new bracket location for the fire extinguisher. I think that should look pretty good. It's nice and secure, got the bolts on this side. Now let's go ahead and just pop this in the car. It only takes a few seconds. So there's the new mounting location for the fire extinguisher, and real quick, if you notice any noisiness in the background, no matter what we do, whenever we get the cameras out, somebody has to mow. I do not know how that is logically possible, like the odds, every single time, 100%. Somebody's always mowing, blowing, chainsawing. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. But anyway, that is the new mounting location. What do you guys think? Honestly, I love that. I think it looks so good. I did not hate it here at all. I liked it here just because it looked like the ones in the Porsches and Ferraris and stuff like that. As far as foot room goes, let's see how it is. So honestly, really not too hindering. You can see it down there, so your foot might hit it a little bit, but in all honesty, people who are sitting in the passenger might have a little bit shorter feet and stuff. And then as far as which way I should angle it, so that's it sitting straight down with the nozzle down. I could also have it twisted this way with this little piece on the top, but then we get the handle over here, which might hit someone's foot, as you can see. And then if I have it straight up, this might hang a little bit, make some noise, but then you see this, which again, you could hit that. So I think the best way is probably tucked away like that with the gauge over on the right side so nothing's gonna hit it, and then this is on the top, and if this does rattle, I can easily just put a rubber band around or something. But yeah, that is the new location for the fire extinguisher. I honestly really like that. Alright guys, that is gonna wrap up today's video as we have yet another machine now starting up, making some more noise. But as far as noise goes, all the rattles hopefully are gone now with the GT-R. That is really awesome. I'm one step closer just getting this car cleaned up and in perfect shape. This year I'm kind of focusing on all the maintenance. Sorry about all the noise. But yeah, this year is all about the maintenance with the GT-R, just getting it up to spec. We got the new tires all squared away.
One eternity later.
I'll also be doing some fluid changes later in the year. Engine oil, differentials, transmission, and steering, maybe brake fluid as well. But really just getting the car in tip-top shape just to enjoy it and drive it like I want to drive it. But anyways, that is about going to wrap up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, fixing some rattles and squeaks on the GT-R. I will keep the description updated if anything changes. I'm pretty confident everything looks to be in great shape now, no more rattles. And that should just help make the driving experience of this car even better. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button. Check out all of our Bros Receive merchandise down in the description below. It helps us out a lot. And also, if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, and it helps us out tremendously. So hope you guys do that as well. Anyways, that is it. We'll see you next video.